Hello, everybody. Welcome to the live video. This is Patricia coming in live today from Wisconsin. Um, we are going to have a special guest today. I'm talking to my friend Jeff about reversing type 2 diabetes. This is a disease that's affecting millions of people, and Jeff is going to be telling us his story on how he is doing and how he's been able to reverse, lower his numbers, lose weight, and become healthier than he has ever been, in the last few months. So please leave me a live in the comments if you're joining us live, and leave me a replay if you watch the replay later, and I will say hey, and Jeff will come around and say hello too. So thank you so much for joining us again, and hello, Jeff, and welcome to the live video. How are you today?
I'm doing great, Patricia. How are you doing today? I'm calling in from Cape Coral, Florida, and it is a cloudy day, but that's okay.
Yeah, it looks great. It looks great. I see the palm trees and everything. So can you hear me okay?
I can hear you okay, and thank you for having me on your live today. I'm humbled.
Yes, thank you so much. No, I really appreciate it because I think your story is so inspiring. And again, there's so many people that are suffering from this disease. And I wanted to bring you on. We've been talking about this for a while, so finally, we're here. And let's get started. Tell us, where you were, when were you diagnosed, first of all, and then how long have you been, kind of like trying to change your health and all that,
Sure. So I was actually diagnosed diabetic, pre-diabetic, in my late 40s, early 50s, and from that point on till like about a year ago, I was kind of managing it with with my doctor, getting on medications, and then getting on shots like Victoza, things like that, and managing it with medications. Fast forward, last year I became involved with the Holistic Chamber of Commerce down here in Florida, and I was working with a woman who does personal coaching, and we were talking about sugars and diabetes, and she was kind of the one that planted the seed about reversing it. And I said, "What do you mean reverse it? I thought you couldn't reverse it." She said, "No, you can reverse it." I'm like, "What?" So I started to do some more investigation in regards to this so-called reversing type 2 diabetes, because my doctor never told me that you can reverse your type 2 diabetes. It was just take this medication. Oh, now it's time to take this medication. Oh, you got to take this medication. And then, oh, you got to take this one because it counteracts with the other one and the side effects from that one. So doing a deep dive, finding out about the medications that I've been on, and really the ultimate outcome long term was not pretty. And so I worked with her. I did, as I said, research. And last year, as you know, I was introduced to this holistic mental wellness company, and decided to really take control, 100% control of my lifestyle as well as my health. And I learned for type 2 diabetes, it's all about food, because food is the catalyst to developing type 2 diabetes, and which ultimately leads to other autoimmune diseases. And then the pharmaceuticals that you are on will destroy the gut and will lead to other autoimmune diseases down the road. So, diabetes, it starts with pre-diabetes, diabetic. It could go into heart disease, as well as blindness, leading into dementia and Alzheimer's. So it was last January is when I jumped on board, making like a 360 turn to really focus on reversing my type 2 diabetes.
That is awesome. I mean, like you said, I didn't know either. I thought that once you were diagnosed with diabetes, that was it, basically, right? like with many other diseases, it's kind of like, you're done, then you have to like deal with this for the rest of your life. So, so how frustrated were you with your doctors, um, by the fact that nobody like really told you, you can actually reverse this, if you make lifestyle changes, if you,
Sure.
watch your diet and, that, because that's super common. Like they just want to give you prescription after prescription, and then, the one prescription causes side effects. So you need to take another one to like deal with that, and then so on and so on, right?
Right. So initially, I was really angry, and since we're live, I won't use the verbiage that I used. But in any event, I went into my doctor and I just said that I want to get my A1C, which is one of the precursors for diabetes, down to a number called 5.0. And she kind of looked at me and was like, "Well, why do you want to get down to 5.0?" I said, "Why don't you tell me that? You're the doctor. If I get my blood, or if I get my A1C down to 5.0, what happens?" And then she says, "Well, you don't have diabetes." I said, "Yeah. And if I don't have diabetes, then I don't have to be on medication." Yeah. So the bottom line is that, and not that I disrespect doctors, because doctors go to school, they go to medical, they're in medical school, they're trained a certain way. I found out through my own research that they have like 4 hours of nutrition in their medical school, because it's all about, here's the disease and here's the drug to treat it. So it's more on ignorance, but the bottom line is that we are in an era that people are sick and tired of being sick and tired, and Western medicine is not working the way we thought it would. And unfortunately, it's a small incremental step to making that change. And I hope down the road, as we can educate more and more people about what's really out there as far as other options, that is the key in order to get people healthy, because we should be living a healthy, non-pharmaceutical lifestyle. And these pharmaceuticals are really just band-aids. We need to get to the root of the cause. And for type 2 diabetes, it's all about food. And so I've changed my type 2, I mean, my whole program was about lifestyle change. I lost 58 pounds. My A1C was at 13. It went down to 7.7. It's now at 5.3, which means
Oh,
I'm non-diabetic. I
that's
do have
awesome.
other things that I need to work on because of the medications that unfortunately resulted in other things. So I'm working on that now. My goal is by the end of December to say that I'm 100% RX free. That is my ultimate goal, so I can live a clean, healthy life, because my motto is treat your body like the temple it is. And Western medicine does not treat your body like a temple. It treats it like a pharmaceutical factory.
Yeah, and again, yeah, like you said, it was a good point that, we are not here to bash doctors. My sister's a doctor, and I, like she's an amazing doctor. But a lot of times they are, they're just conditioned to, like you said, I mean, to, they have a
Right.
disease and then to treat it with medication. That's, they went to school to do that, right?
Sure.
And
Yep.
you're right. I think, I mean, drugs have a place and a time for certain things. Obviously, we're not telling anybody
Right.
not to, like go to the doctor and not seek treatment, but you also have to be like your own advocate, right? Like you have to do your research and, kind of like find out your options and see what else is available other than just like one medication after another. Because like in your case, obviously you did your homework and you found out, oh my gosh, and this lady told you, it's like you can actually reverse this, right?
Right.
With diet, honestly. So that's awesome. So yeah, we just want to make people aware that this is possible, right? Because a lot of people, again, you get that diagnosis and it's probably devastating when you get it, right? And you're like, oh my
Right.
God, like, like what do I do now? Like I have, this is my future. And you have a family history as well, right? Like your dad, I think, and your grandpa.
Yeah, so I mean, the turning point for me was that my dad passed away from type 2 diabetes, heart disease, and he did have an amputation. And then a couple years later, his sister passed away from type 2 diabetes and heart disease. And then his youngest brother just passed away from type 2 diabetes and heart disease. And I'm like, oh, I'm next in line here. So I did not want to be part of that lineage. And the more I can learn about this and help educate, provide value to those that want to take it, because here's the thing is that it really is a choice. I've talked to so many
Right.
people who are diabetic, and I just came from a fair, health fair, and talked to a woman who's had diabetes for years, and she told me her A1C was at 11, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's horrific. That's really dangerous. And she said, yeah, I know. But it's like there was no concern. And that really frightened me. And people need to really, um, let's see, I don't want to use the word wake up, but, I hope that they'll be open to, getting information and really learning what the ultimate result will be, because through type 2 diabetes, obviously it ends in death, and it is on the rise. Um, I think it's number 8 for the most number of deaths in the world, or in the U.S. In fact,
Mhm.
80% of the U.S. population has the most diabetes in the entire world.
All right.
80%.
That tells you something, right?
Yeah.
So tell me, how did you go about, like, what did you use to finally kind of, like, have this breakthrough where you were able to start losing your weight and, getting
Sure.
healthier, and all, other than the nutrition, because I know that you've added other things to
Right.
your
Yeah.
routine.
Sure. So I used through the holistic mental wellness company that really focuses on the microbiome, because that's your gut is where everything starts. And those of us who have diabetes, or those who have diabetes, because I don't anymore, um,
Yay.
you start with leaky gut, and leaky gut leads to a plethora of other autoimmune diseases. So what I did is I used this program called Project B3 Body Brain Biome, and it teaches a program called Sense, SENSE, so supplementation, exercise, nutrition, stress management, and then you do an evaluation. And I knew two things for me was number one, I had to lose weight. This program's not a weight loss program. It's a lifestyle change. It really got me to understand the importance of the microbiome, the importance of the right supplementation, the right nutrition, the right exercise, right stress management. So, what really helped me was number one was exercise. I took that exercise component that's taught in that program and actually tripled it. When I started, I could only ride 15 minutes a day. I'm up to a little bit over an hour a day, and then I walk about an hour a day. So I've gone through that, and now I'm on to the next phase where I need to do strength building and muscle toning. So that's the weight aspect of it. The nutrition portion was I went like 98%, 99% plant based, because a lot of our meats have steroids in it, so forth and so on. Or you're eating farm fish, which has, oh my God, it's got so much garbage in it. If I did protein, I would get wild salmon or organic chicken. If I did those types of foods for protein, otherwise it was all plant based, and that really helped clean my gut on top of um, the supplement protocol that I incorporated into the program. And then the other thing is that people just don't do stress management. They don't meditate. They don't do yoga. They don't do um, whatever. Just go out for a nice little walk, and
Mhm.
which is really important. That's something that I still struggle with. It's a challenge for me, but I'm getting better. These are small incremental changes because I started this in January. By the end of August, I was non-diabetic, but I still have a couple of other things that, as I said earlier, I'm working on for the rest of this year. But it's really training my brain to think differently and to do different habits that I'm incorporating into my lifestyle.
So it's not an overnight thing. It's a lot of hard work. For those people wondering, like, how do I do this? Whatever. I mean, you have to like really be focused and say, I'm gonna do this, right? It's not kind of like a thing that's gonna happen. It's like the
Well,
supplements and the diet and all that is not like a magic pill. Obviously, that's the beginning of it. But so, like, what do you think?
yeah, so here's the thing, Patricia, is that you say it's hard work. You know what? It's really not hard work. It's a decision. It's a choice because yeah, I went out there and did my exercise. Yeah, it was hard in the beginning, but now I enjoy it. So
Mm,
you get into that cycle of getting exercise and you feel really good after it. But then the food aspect of it, the meditation, the supplementation, you just add that to your daily regimen. You're eating every day anyway. So,
and
it's
that's
just
what
a
I mean.
matter of making those small changes in regards to what you're taking into your body. But I would say the first maybe 2 to 3 weeks were a little challenging, but after that, I enjoyed it because I was thinking about the outcome
Mhm.
versus the new outcome versus the ultimatum, which is death, period, for type 2 diabetes.
Yeah, yeah. And when I mean hard work, is like, you have to like put in, the exercise, so it might be hard for somebody that's, like you need to motivate, kind of like self-motivate, and hopefully you have a community of
Right.
people and family and friends that are like, helping you out and motivating you. But I think that's what I mean when it says, I mean hard work,
Got
because
it.
like you're taking care of yourself, and you're feeling good. I think that's a motivation. I mean, like you start feeling
Right.
better every time you
Yeah.
do it, you keep feeling better and better. So it's like, that's kind of like a good incentive, right?
Yep.
Then, like gut health was the key, like the missing link for you then. I mean, optimizing your gut and the gut brain axis, that was kind of like what did it really in the end, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And not only with the weight loss and the reversing of the diabetes, the brain fog is pretty much gone. I've got more strength. I've got more energy. Um, my overall well-being. I feel like I'm in my 30s, and I haven't felt this good in I don't know, like 20 or 30 years. We get old. Yes, things happen, but um, you can actually reverse that and get a lot more strength and vigor in our life instead of just settling for okay, I'm getting old and that's part of getting old. Well, you know what? There's a lot of things out there that you can do that will make you vibrant, healthy, and have a lot of energy.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I mean, I'm glad you said that because I was going to ask you, that was the next question, like, has your life changed? So it looks like, like everything's kind of coming together and you're just feeling, 10 times better than you were before all this happened. So that's awesome. And I'm really
Feeling
happy for you.
fantastic.
And you look amazing. I know that, I've seen the change in these past few months, so you look amazing. So, we're getting down there to almost 20 minutes. So any parting words for somebody that's thinking about, I want to do something about this, right? Like, what would you be your words for, somebody that's been thinking about it, that is not sure how
Yeah.
to start, like, like, what would you say?
Sure. So those who are watching, either reach out to Patty or myself. My encouragement is be open. Be open to getting information. Okay. We're here to provide value. We're here to provide some insight and some encouragement of hope. Um, we have been involved with this company and the mission, and we have helped so many people. I'm blown away, and we have so many more to help. So be open to getting information, and then you have to make the decision if you want to make that choice to make the change. And again, Patricia, you said earlier, this is not an overnight quick fix thing. It takes time and it's a lifestyle change for those of us who, I was almost 230 pounds. I'm down to 170, 175 right now. That's a lot of weight off. So it's a big change physically, mentally, and emotionally. So, going over time, you kind of decrease all that stuff and get leveled out. And if you're willing to do the work, then once you get to that level and reach those goals, you're going to feel absolutely amazing, totally amazing.
And have all this energy to go all over the place and spread the word, right?
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
So
Well, Jeff, thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it. And if anybody has any questions about Jeff's story, leave me a comment on the on my page, and I'll make sure to get, if I can't answer the question, I'll get Jeff to answer it for you. He's also
sure.
going to be on the messages, and we hope that this has inspired one person. If it's one person that can reverse the type 2 diabetes that they have, then
Right.
that would be awesome, right? So thank
Absolutely.
you for sharing your story and what you have been doing this past year, and I'm sure that you're going to accomplish your goal by the end of the year, and get to like completely reverse the type 2 diabetes, because you've just been
Awesome.
working your
Thanks, Patricia. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you,
Thanks for
Jeff.
watching.
Thank
Okay.
you for watching. See you guys in the next video. Bye bye.
Bye.
All right, awesome.